Two, one. Oh, you're live. Oh, this is story time with UncleGOAT The Dark Years. So I was thinking about my buddy Strati. I was going to tell him, hey, man, you remember that time I beat on the door of your bedroom? Get on out of here, Steve. Quit rubbing one off to Brianna in there. Hurry up. Wipe yourself off. Come out here. I need to talk. And Miles was sitting over the kitchen table. He had a trough full of spaghetti and meatballs. He didn't even have utensils. He just had his head in the trough. This little bucket square head of his. Square peg in a round hole, like the corners of his head was hitting the skillet. Was hitting the pot, rather. Uh, I heard he hit pot once. And I think that's what Steve was doing in there before Brianna got on his mind. What he don't understand, he's judging her now. She's not bad. She's easy on the eyes. I think she's cute as can be. But see, I see in her like when she's 35 and she's had one child, like when she starts producing milk, like those things go from a A plus to a full C or maybe a low D orbit, baby. I mean, they come out like this, pang, ready to make some milk. And she's going to smooth them curves out perfect. And at 35, she's like, well, you daddy, you're my man for my first baby, but you better watch your shit because I'm going to get whatever man I need to take care of me and my second baby. Baby. And you know, she means it. Woo. She's smart. Matter of fact, the reason why, he was trying to throw me off the scent. He was like, oh yeah, she tutors me. An older one, like a year older. Ooh. Oh yeah, just older. Oh yeah, like she don't just do it doggy style. She does it horsey style, like a cowgirl on her side. I mean, she's in the saddle, and so are you. So, I met this just coffee and cream with a little cha-cha, a little Thai pepper, like Mexico jalapeno, habanero spice to her. And she had a Georgia peach accent. She was just a darling young lady. And I'm like, darling. I've met some sweet Georgia peaches in my time. Yeah, so he knew about that. So he's trying to throw me off the scent because this girl had charm, like old world Southern charm. And he knew it and he wanted it. And she talked to me because I'm smart, right? So she's like, oh, these boys, they're so dumb. Some of them just need to chill out a little bit. Some of them need to get in them books. So she get a little bit of that books. He's got some book learning now. So yeah. So I'd already told him the Georgia Peach story and then showed him pictures. He's like, huh? How old were you? How long ago was this? Like, did you have children with them? With them. With her? See, 1990. How old are you? 94, 93. See, 1989, I met her niece. First met her in 91. I don't think so. She had two more after I was, but I wasn't that close. I don't think. I do remember some drunk dialing I did though after we split. Oh, things a little shady. It's not just about communion; it's about the connection between people. So we remember these times, right? And so Steve comes out Ulster T, man, flat out stratified. T artist. He's like, man, I was asleep. He was plum ass acting, man. His eyes were wide open, right when that door cracked open. Like he prepared his stage face. Man, I was asleep. Like, dude, man, the veins in your forearm still throbbing. You got inspired. You breathe that stuff in. You got inspired. Good fellas. So, well, Miles, I love these guys. They know it. And I will not speak ill of any of them ever. Good guys. I used to call them good kids, but that's been a couple of years now. I mean, they're coming into good men, you know. So, well, that came out wrong. Although I do wonder about the Russian prince. Hitting them high notes. Calling them in. Oh, ladies, I've got a new messenger bag. All right, so far, Miles has not said one word. He looks up at me and he says, one word only. He's got spaghetti sauce on his jowls. Like over here, like down one side of his chin. He just looks me right straight in the eye and says, savage. It goes back to eating the spaghetti. This blockhead, like he has right angles on his cheekbones, and they jut out that way. Yeah, his last name is like a Latin word that means bad German. Like they knew about him in the time of Crete, in the Greek time before the Romans. Like, oh yeah, we have a name for them too. Like that kind of German dude. He's got a flat top, and it's not even cut that way. It's cut all even. It turns into a flat top because he's like a cubist. Like, I said, man, if that boy had a seizure, there'd be dents in the wall everywhere. It'd be right angles. Look like somebody read a pool table. And so it's as dense as granite. You know, I'm like hitting on the table. It's like granite. I wouldn't lie. He's just, I'm such a bad person. He's just looking at me over the rim of the, hey, here's the rim of the bowl, right? And here he is. He's looking at me. That's not funny, man. But he doesn't say that. He just looks at me like that way, like, that's not funny. That's not funny, man. Like I can just read his mind. Like he's looking at me with those intense gaze, those intense gazing eyes, like Dracula. Like, you know, I'll eat you after I chop your head off. I mean, he's just like automatic, like monster Frankenstein, comma monster, comma Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. Dum 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 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I love the Munsters. And Mancini music. Man, those were the days. I am so damn old. All right, so what was I trying to tell them boys that day? Oh yeah, so yeah. All right, so what you gotta do? Find you a woman that's working two jobs, and then convince her that you will work one job part time, but you're so brilliant that then she'll have time off and you'll have time off, and then you'll like cook her supper and get her laundry done by hand by a professional dry cleaning, new shoes twice a week, you know, and she'll think she's hit the jackpot. They're like, dude, man, you're cynical as hell, man. This is strategic. Like, women are precious. Yes. And Miles just looks up from the trough and goes, I mean, he made a sound. He didn't say a word. Boy can eat. I'm like, dude, are we just going to serve ourselves from this platter? He's like, no, that's my plate. Serve yourself. I've got more sauce. You know how to boil water. You can make some noodles. Ain't no more meat. And he's scraping all the meat off the side and the big chunks off the top, put it on his plate, and mounts more spaghetti over top of it to like cover it up. Like, oh, this is just a big mound of spaghetti. There's no giant chunks of meat and sauce under here. The first drop of sauce hits it, all the spaghetti falls away. Shit. When he eats, when he's hungry, you know it. Like, get out of his way. I think he just swallowed a can of SpaghettiOs whole. Like, how does that work out? You just like, are you like a snake? Like you crush it in your throat and spit the can back out like they do with an egg? You crush an egg in her throat, they have a bone that hangs down. And if it's like a whole rodent, well, that bone bends up enough and the rodent squeezes through. But if it's an egg, it'll crack that egg and all the liquid flows down the snake's throat. The snake constricts its throat, squeeze all the liquid down, and then hacks out the shell. That's a lovely visual, isn't it? It's an eggshell. Can you imagine standing there and a snake looks at you, then looks away, and looks back, and goes, and like hacks an eggshell on the side of your face? It's like the loogie from hell or the loogie from Pompeii. An instant concretion. What the hell was that? Is he a spitting cobra? Nope, he's a milk snake, but he likes eggs and milk. Hang around long enough, we'll feed him some bread, put some cinnamon on it. We'll toast his ass up for French toast. Get him some of that good old Heinz dark corn syrup and mix it up with that real good maple syrup from up there in Maine. Now I'm telling you, where the right where the salt spray of the ocean and the woods meet, right there. That is the best on the earth, man. It's right spot, right climate, perfect. There's that the redneck gastronomist going on in me. So where was I? Geographical symmetry. I'm telling you guys, look, some of these women like they're a little skinny, like they have like narrow shoulders and their butt's a little wide, but then like some people like that. I'm not turning them down. They have kind of a pear shape because they got that butt that tucks out and under. I said, all right, I'll tell that butt set a little bit. and them shoulders get a little broader, and she goes, like, man, that is a fine looking 35-year-old. Wow. And from behind, she looks like good 25. And you can just see one little laugh line. And oof, and it got a little heft in them. And she learned how to cook. She put on like 5 pounds. She put on like 25, but she put on like 5 pounds. Because you're going to say that. I mean, over 15 years, that's like, what is that? A third of a pound a year? No, that's like a fifth of a pound a year. It's like an ounce. It's like an M&M. Dorothy. Yeah. So, because you whip, man. She got you. You do whatever. Oh, I need to build a space shuttle in the backyard. Okay, honey. Oh, I'll call some of my friends. It'll take some planning, but I'll get on it by your birthday next year. Yes, ma'am. Oh, no problem, lady. You my lady. Yeah, I love you too. Hell yeah. He'll have you a red one and a blue one out there in the backyard 3 days before your birthday, and a white one's on the way. It's going to be delivered at the ceremony of your birthday. And all three of them are going to light up for your candles because that's your 33 birthday, baby. I mean, he would do anything because you were good to him, and he is some goofy nerd. That's funny right there. He's a good fella, but hey, I could have got him prettier, or I could have got him smarter, but I could have gotten him much nicer. You hear him say stuff over the phone to me like, that I think that Georgia peach might have given me pink eye. You're like, these fellows do not deserve a nice person like that as a significant other. And you start to hear about some of the bones in the ladies' closet, and you're like, oh, well, okay, all right. Even out a little bit. Because I think like a 8.5 that's as pure as the new fallen snow is hotter than a 10 that is just loose as a goose in Tennessee and half of Kentucky. Like, yeah, honk, honk, honk. Yeah, honk, honk, honk. Flipping that tail up. Honk, honk, honk. We had a cocktail party. Honk, honk, honk. Oh, yeah. I know I'm a goose, but I can move like a swan, like Swan Lake Ballet, baby. She's working it, right? Where was I? Oh, the blood rushed away from my forehead. She done pumped some of the blood back in here, bro. Oh, we need a jump starter. I got sidetracked. So, like, you guys got bones in your closet, and skeletons, and so do these ladies. We're just, they're a little more discreet about it. And you get to my point where you're as smart as me and I can read their minds now. That's when you really start to learn. When she says nothing and looks away, oh, my friend, it is the opposite of nothing. It is the mathematical equivalent oppositency called infinity. It is way more than nothing. Like you can feel the fire, the heat coming off of her brain. Like she is cocked and locked and ready to go. And she's going to go, boom, 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 boom. Get some. Boom, 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 boom. Like she got a backup machine gun, belt fed. It's 50 caliber. Like it has to be mounted on furniture. Like the kind of furniture that has armor and a motor and wheels and tracks. I mean, she will light your ass up. You tell anything about what happened in Cancun. That tequila had something extra in it. I'm telling you. I did not with Seven Surfers. Acapulco. Woke up at Pebble Beach with some Cubans. The language is similar. it's it's Spanish, but it's an American Spanish, but it's not the same American Spanish as I was hearing yesterday. Oh, that wasn't yesterday. That was a week ago. I wonder if I remember to eat anything. I feel rather weak. My legs are kind of shaky. Like the EMTs pick you up off the beach and like you go home in a wheelchair because you can only support like 7/8 of your weight on one leg. And then you find out that your girlfriends have pictures and short video clip. And the last one is a long video clip of him walking up the street. That's right. You seen it. She volunteered. I'm in front of all y'all. To me. Big Papa. Still got it going on. Papa got game. Papa got game. You know, when he's walking out of there, like they're writing songs about him right now. And that's day 3. He was in there for 3 days straight. Like, wow, she wore him out, right? Well, he came back an hour and a half later. He went out to get Chinese because he was hungry. He needs some carbs. Yeah, I want 11 orders of fried rice and the chicken, the beef, the shrimp, the whatever that is, rat and broccoli. Yeah, I'll take that too. And yeah, yeah, I want the feet. Yeah, and yeah, sure. Oh yeah, she wants some dim sum. Like that was all for him. That wasn't like feeding the whole house. Like that's not feeding her aunt and uncle the next house over. Like where I'm catering I'm catering lunch Saturday. You know? No, that's for him. He needs carbs, protein. His muscles are depleted. Like, he can't carry all the food into the house. Like, oh, she done killed him. No, no, he's fine. He just needs to refuel. Land, stretch his legs. I'm gonna do a few. I'm gonna do a few crunches here. Yabs taking pounding in the cockpit. Spread your wings. Let's go. Yeah, I've got your CW Warthog up here. I got 30 millimeters, a Gatling gun, Vulcan cannon. Just let me know if you want me to light somebody's fire, baby. Because there ain't no fireman going to put this out. I'll put the fire truck out on the street. I'll put it out in the yard, on the street, up next to the highway. I loves it, baby. I really like the recoil. When they slap back, yeah, it means we're going in again. You see slow motion. And that pilot always has a smile, like the mask inside the helmet goes. He's got a big white helmet on, right? Or a big Kevlar green, yellow helmet with the big yellow ears on for his earphones. He's got the oxygen mask, like a heads-up display. No glasses. Glasses aren't cool unless they are heads-up display glasses, which that's badass. Like I can see that right now. Okay, let's go to balance focus so that I can see it focus as I move my body. All right, now let's run. Wow, that was no tangent whatsoever. That was straight down the middle, straight as a string. Didn't deviate for gravity. Yeah. So I'm telling about how women are instead of how everybody tells them they should talk to women. I'm like, yeah, someone you should talk to right away. Others you should just go, sup. but don't say it. Just go. So that way, whatever she wanted you to say, you just said it. You just made her first dream come true. Well, that slick man right there, he done said, sopapilla, or whatever. So, so, how about you and me, baby? So there's this time I was playing the dulcimer at a science fiction convention. I wasn't playing it like up on a stage. I was sitting on a piece of furniture in the hallway in the hotel next to the elevator where all the elegant people were coming in from their like fancy dinner where they're wearing their cocktail dresses and stuff. And we're talking dignitaries of the science fiction world. And we was Chattacon. They come out of the elevator, and I over here going tweet on this 3 string. Well, it's 4 string dulcimer, but I only know how to play 3 strings. I don't have a pick. I've got my convention badge, and I'm using as a pick this floppy. I've got to grab it about you know 8.5 millimeters from the edge, so I can use it as a pick. And the plastic is probably toxic Chinese stuff, even though it's like 1990. And I stopped at one point, and this tall redhead was standing right in front of me. When I stopped playing, she stopped moving, like it was musical chairs. Like I'd already charmed her into my trap, right? And what I do, I open my mouth, and I should have just smiled and gone. So whatever she wanted to hear, I just said it in one word or whatever, 2 syllables. I don't know, whatever. Instead, I opened my mouth and said, "So, how's about?" Here's this angelic harp music coming out of this hillbilly dulcimer with 4 strings, and he's going. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, "My mama done told me." It's just I got the rhythm wrong, so it sounds different. The song I'm playing in my head is not the one coming out on the dulcimer. It still sounds pretty good. So in my head, I'm going, "My mama done told me," and like she's hearing Swan Lake played on a harp. And like that trill, that's me. Like, wow, is that a D or an E? E flat. D. I'm like going up and down the scale and stuff. People think I'm a maestro, and I'm like, I just lost where I was in the song. I was improvising. So I'm like, I can't stop this hand moving because if I do that, then my brain stops working. Like I'm pumping the oxygen back up in my head. I have to think of the next note. What would that be? There's no music written down for me. I mean, there is music. There's tablature. Like you don't even have to learn how to read music. They can show you where to put your fingers on the pegs. That's what one guy called. I'd put your feet. I'm like, don't touch those pegs, man. Those are walnut. They're just held in with chalk dust, and they're like crunched down like tink tink tink. Oh, they are literally banjo strings, so they are as tight as banjo strings, and they're cranked down to where the you're afraid the wood's gonna break and like wood shrapnel's gonna come flying at you, but it's like it's almost at the. It goes ting 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 ting, and the wood cracks a little bit, and it goes tong, and like it lowered. Damn it, the tension dropped. So you go ting ting ting. Oh man, if it cracks somewhere else, it might just blow up. Because there's 2 other strings or 3 other strings. Sorry, like I said I only learned how to play on a 3 string. That's how much of a dulcimer hillbilly I am. A 3 string dulcimer. I mean, what kind of mentally challenged hill folk do you hail from, young white man who speaks with forked tongue and can't play instrument? I mean, I'm over here, I'm thinking hard, man. And like when she saw me, like, and I didn't mean to stop, like I was enhanced with alcohol. That's the other thing. As soon as I stop, well, it's kind of hard to restart. And it's like a V8 motor with not enough air, but it's got just enough, like one cylinder can halfway fire at the bottom of the stroke. And there's not really any juices flowing yet, but my mouth's already open and I'm talking. So, like I looked all suave, you know, a a slightly underworked, underappreciated fat guy that's got a jazz soul, but he's just a little bit fat. I was young then, it's a while back, So like he's 255 and he should be like 235, 245. Like 15, 20 pounds, he'll be perfect. He's tall. And and I was wearing like a suit. Like I went to this dinner too. Well, I didn't actually have a ticket. I just like figured out who was not seated and who wasn't coming. Like, somebody put somebody's purse there or something. So I got my tux on. And I mean, I'm big enough. I got to rent a tux. I can't afford the, 58 long. And then I got the dreaded disease Neanderthal, or at least I did. I'm getting a little weight. There's some fat back there now. I finally have some cushion. Now you can start calling me Fatback McSwain. You're a redneck hillbilly if you know the names of the crew chiefs of the NASCAR drivers. I know the Jackman, Chocolate. Dale Earnhardt's Jackman. His name's Chocolate. He's 6'9" and he likes chocolate. And we let him have it. Because he don't lift the car up with a jack. He is the jack. Like he just goes, huh? You guys got what you need? You want me on the other side too? Huh? How much chocolate? Whatever you need, big man. Whatever you need. He's like 6'9", 410 pounds. He's got on his triceps. He has stuff that looks like tree roots. Those are the veins that supply the muscles. And they look. It's like a psychedelic trip, allegedly. Uh, There's a tree loot. The tree loots. The tree loots are pulsating like a German professor with a loose partial dental plate. For pulsating, like for the rest of the cat giving a science lesson. Sort of laugh. So the veins in this man's arms pulsate down the muscle. It looks like stuff's crawling on his triceps when he's holding something. Like the veins will wiggle back and forth from the strain. Like, dude, he's trying to leave. Just let him leave. Nobody has to die here today. That was Chocolate. Chocolate walked in the room and like everybody else, you see people here and here, or here, down here. Whatever. But Chocolate comes in the room like this, and this is what you see of Chocolate. Hey guys. He's 6'9" and 410 pounds. Like this is how wide his chest is. Like his shoulders are out there. Hey guys. Is that Reese's peanut butter cups? I smell Reese's peanut butter cups. Like 3, 5, 4. Oh, Reese's good. Okay. Like if you had chocolate in your belly, like he might try to grab it. Oh, hard-boiled this would be like dim sum. I'm evil. I'm a horrible human being. I'm like H.P. Lovecraft, horrible human being. Like he was a racist, a bigamist, anti-Semite. He hated black people, yellow people, red people. Basically, if you weren't in his immediate family, he thought you were the scum of the earth. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants, like that's a good start. But some of those Protestants are like, you know, They're from Poland. And some of them are Irish. Some of them are Scottish. And some of them are Vikings that settled in Normandy, France. So not all of them are nice either. I don't like those guys. I like the white English Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Not just white enough, but not so white that you're pale blue like the Northern Irish and the Scots and the Vikings. He says, it's funny. He said, and then the Eskimos start getting darker again. Demonetized. It's like out of an Alpenhorn, Ricola. Ricola. That's me right there. Demonetized. Fat ass. Like I want to talk. Like I can pick on anybody. I talk about 410 pounds. Like that's far away. Like that's only 52 pounds from where I'm at right now. 358 pounds. I'll be there shortly if I don't do something fast. Like, you know what? I think I can drive there faster and burn less calories. Oh man, this is 4-wheel drive. We can get 190 and 2-wheel drive. Third gear, 103. Shifting to fourth, it loses traction. I can get to 410, no problem. I'm not going to get to 6'9" anytime soon. Like he had scars on his head from hitting his head on door frames, and like they started here because some door frames are slightly non-standard, and then like you put a layer of carpet down on the floor so it raises up that much, and the pad's that thick, and you know. So next thing you know, it's 6'6.5". It's not anywhere close to 6'8". He's got a scar here. He's got a scar here. He got one long one here for where a piece of nail came out of the trim and caught him. One of them little tiny finish nails. I think nailed it in, and it went through the trim, but it didn't make it into the hardwood behind it. It went plonk, and it's hanging down. And it just scrapes him. And Chocolate's like, can I get a napkin and a Reese's cup? I mean, she'd give him anything. I mean, you want a pork chop? You want a whole pork? I mean, you want a whole pork sausage, like 600 pounds? We got it in the freezer. I'll start thawing out some. You let me know when to stop cooking. He like riches up his overalls. Yep. He said, bleeding probably about stopped by now. You got any cold beer? Yes, we do. What's your favorite kind? He says, oh, whatever you got is fine. There's 2 or 3 of them would be great. She's like, yeah, I figure you're probably going to drink a dozen. We only got 4. So what do you want us to buy for this time and for next? It's like an Alice in Wonderland thing. Like he's sitting in the kitchen. The kitchen table comes up to the ear on him. Like you can't look at the table and look at his face in the same picture frame of your mind, because there's a table, up here's his head, and there's a table. Like he's not one of these tall guys that's all legs. Oh, word of the day is legs. Spread the word. Oh, a tall chick that's all legs. Mama. Aisha. Tyler. And she's funny. All that. Lucky man. Lucky men. Lucky women. Anybody's lucky to touch that. You can bounce quarters off. I can't even say it. So, where was I? Yeah, I ain't gonna be 6'9" anytime soon. Not in this life. Not unless they figure out a way to, bring back all the spinal inches I've lost. I guess I can have better posture. Huh? Yeah, hell with it. I got stuff crunched together, and I might as well stay that way. I'm like 6'1" and 5/8. Not even 6'2" anymore. I used to be over 6'3", and then you know disc replacement in my neck. Like here's the scar. Like go in on the front. It's so funny. I call it after the surgery. I had a little bit of swelling uh, around the scar, and my neck in general was a little swollen, but it wasn't swollen up here around your thyroid. So I was like, I have some swelling around the incision site and just kind of in that general area. Like, it's 2 inches wide. And they pull the muscles and tendons and stuff. I like all this out here, and like for 4 days, you feel like somebody was trying to choke you to death. So there's some swelling, and they've got me on some stuff to reduce swelling, and and they've got a like an intubation kit right there. Like this is when I go home because this can happen. Like if you were to have an allergic reaction to one of the antibiotics, or I mean, there's all kinds of things that could go on, and your throat closes up just a little bit. I mean, you're dead. So it's a cycle that'll feed on itself too. So your throat starts closing up, the swelling increases, and like the pain sensation will increase. So you'll like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's going on there? And so everything tenses up, and then more fluid gets pumped as the tension goes on and off. And those cells start expanding. Some of them burst. There's all kinds of stuff, awful things that go on. And so if that roller coaster ride starts, it doesn't really stop. It's all gravity fed. It just has to find its own level at a lower energy. And man, scary, right? So I'm calling in because I'm a little concerned. Like there looks like there might be there's some swelling right on the incision line. I'm like, there might be a little bit of infection right there. Sure enough, I pulled at it, and I didn't pull the stitches. I just kind of gave it a little squeeze on each side. They didn't have steri strips or anything, just an iodine zone. I'd wash that off with alcohol and saline. And I'm like, and my hands. Actually, I think I wore gloves. Anyway, so aseptic precautions. And I gave that thing a squeeze, and it like, ew. I'm like, oh man. Ooh. I just squirted a little saline in there, and I left a little bit of packing laying there and sticking out where you pull it out like the next day. It fell out in my sleep. Like I had a bandage over it because it's here in it. And when I woke up, it was like down in here, taped to my chest hair. And then that packing had pulled out, but it was all clear. There was no color to anything, and any kind of touch, and you would just see little red blood come up from the edges. So, like, oh, that's good. So I just put it. I didn't pack it again. I just try to manipulate the stitches. Like the stitches will move in the skin and stuff. So I took some tweezers and dipped them in alcohol, and then just kind of I didn't want to put alcohol in the wound, so I just kind of maneuvered the stitches in closer to one another, like the tops of the stitches, and then so the bottoms would change in the angle they were gripping the flesh, and you can go a little in and out, kind of like slide. Skin is stretchy and flexible, so you can kind of slide. And as long as you're not aggravating the tissue up underneath by pulling up or pushing down, a lot of times the stitches won't cut into the tender's tissue. I mean, there's risk and everything. So anyway, but I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm treating a wound here. I know wound care like this. But I call the nurse just to document everything, what I've done. So in the doctor's office, one of the nurses that works the phones, she's not a medical assistant, but she's like an office manager, master's degree, RN. She's pretty bright. So she worked at Jefferson with me. I knew her from the emergency room and from the mental ward and from critical care unit, I believe. I babysat a guy that was violent over there. So, oh, he was a criminal, underground kickboxer. Like maybe a bagman for the, I don't know, whatever. So I'm not gonna name names, that's for sure. I mean, that's like four kinds of illegal, and it'll get you killed. So I had to babysit him, and I was on that unit, and so she was just a jokester. She's awesome. She knew her stuff. Like she knew her specialty, and she knew a lot about other specialties within nursing. Honestly, she should have been an MD. I mean, with everything she knew, she had PhD level knowledge of medicine and how hospitals actually run. Like, she'd been an MD with a PhD in crisis management in an organization within one building. I mean, some very specialized PhD, like that deals with healthcare and business and their interaction with the world. I mean, just brilliant individual. And she's just cruising. Like she's retirement age is right now. Like she's 55 and like she's going to get to retire much early, right? Instead of 65 or 60, like a lot of people. Well, she's done, and she's only going to be here another 14 weeks to work out her vacation times that she took from before. And she's done, son. And she's going to be making good bucks. Like she's going to make 50,000 a year off of like some of the royalty stuff she worked on, and then she's got a pension through her union or whatever they call it. Not a union, whatever, professional, whatever, jockey club, whatever the hell they call it. She's gonna beat my ass. All right, so I call in. So she's working at this doctor's office, right? She's just hanging in with the facility, like, but not an exact job she used to work in. And she would do float nurse and stuff, and I mean, she could do about anything. She's awesome and such a smart ass and deadpan. I mean, she would goof off too, but she could do a deadpan better than anybody. Fantastic psych nurse too. Her sense of humor was never off. She'd be like, "What's this?" All right, so I called him. So yeah. So I told her what I told you. Like, I've got some swelling generally, and then specifically right around the incision. And I gave it a little squeeze, and out came some pus, and blah blah blah. And I cleaned it out, and whatever this, and I manipulated the stitches back a little bit, and got the skin closed tight, pretty well to where it was, and some packing, and just wanted my neck's swollen, and it's been a couple of days, and I think the swelling's better, and there's no pus. And she says, so I told her who it was, of course. So this Chris, yeah, yeah, really, your neck is swollen. I'm like, yeah, yeah, just probably just all normal post surgery stuff. But I figure I'd mention it. I mean, I work CNA and as an EMT, and I see this stuff, and I get the medic view of it. I kind of, so I figure I'd help you out, help me out. Man, these things are evil. Right here. Clover Valley, semi-sweet chocolate morsels. So anyway, so I'm telling her, I said, yeah, like she's kind of getting on my nerve a little bit, right? Oh, she got me hooked already. Yeah, she had me set up. Your neck is swollen. She says, how could you tell? She'd already put me on speakerphone so the entire office could hear what I said, what she said. And I could hear them laughing and crying in the background, beating on the desk. Your neck, your neck is swollen. Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay now. I think it's better than it was yesterday. Whatever, blah blah. So I was hooked, and then she just dropped the hammer on me. Your fat ass, your neck is wide as normal people's shoulders. So, oh, she got me, and I was stunned into silence immediately, and the whole office is roaring. Like you couldn't hear the copy machine in the background anymore. Frank, 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 Frank. It's saying Frankfurt, by the way. That's where all the money goes. Frankfurt, 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 Germany. Although Frankfurt, Kentucky, I mean, we're keeping our eye on you. Them old Xerox, that had a hump and a sparkle on them. Frankfurt, Frankfurt. Like they're laughing so loud you can't hear the copy machine anymore. You hear, bah! It sounds like people cheering at a riot that breaks out at a high school wrestling match. Or better yet, a middle school wrestling match. If you've ever seen one come to blows, I don't mean between the kids. I mean between the parents. Pandemonium. It is a beautiful thing. It doesn't all have to have a point. It just has to be good stories about good people, good times, and working for good times to come. And do good work and don't ignore the great work. There are things bigger than yourselves and bigger than you and all your friends can accomplish in this lifetime and the next. Then all the people they know, like a couple orders of magnitude out from your little monkey circle, all these little chimps that we know around each other. That's all we really are. We're just like, in my case, taller, uglier, gruntier versions of chimpanzees. Our voice is deeper, but the breath smells the same. You're like, dude, breath man. So what I was really talking about is horses are people. So I told you that story to tell you this one. Steve Mailer loved that one too. So I told you that one to tell you this one. He was charming. That is verboten against the rules. He had a lousy German accent too. It's okay. Oh, he did come up with Gunther Dometzger, which I thought was an awesome name for a Dungeons and Dragons character. We were such geeks. Oh my god. Did you see a look at my eye? There's a dang fly up here on the, on the wall. Oh, I might have smushed it already. Wait a minute. Oh no, that I'm fine. That one was smushed in place. So I'll tell you about the three monkeys in the football after this one. So where was I? Does anyone have the digital art of the two monkeys in the football? I can't find it in my archives. I'm quoting a friend of mine on the hippie commune. I love those guys so much. One of them, he put on cowboy boots and a hat, and he's got some teeth on him. He's like a buck-toothed dog. He looked like somebody put a cowboy hat on a horse. Like he's got a long face and his big teeth hang out. You know who you are, Roo. Roo. Yeah, he looks like somebody put a hat on a mule. Like, where are the ears? Are they laid back there somewhere? He's got a mane. Some of my friends. Oh, I gotta call him a friend now, though. Shout out to Wrist Reel, I guess. Yeah, anybody we put up with each other's bullshit for so long, we bound to have had some calming influence on the other one. We've butted heads for so many times. We bound to at least slow down a little bit on the thumps. When we started butting heads, we were out here. And now we're kind of like, yeah, I still hate you. I guess you can have some children. You can take those over there, take those over here. Be all right. Stop hitting me. Yeah, I'll stop hitting you. Oh, you stop hitting me. I don't know if it's ever going to end. Like one of us is just going to go, oh, they were. It's been a good life. Exit Fat Man, stage left. Yay, Fat Man. Oh, Christopher, you're so awesome. Yeah, I couldn't wait for his fat ass to get off stage. All right, now the party starts. The director's like, lights. Rose. All right. Almost an hour. I guess I'll tell you the secret now. It was his sled, his wooden sled that he had when he was a little child. Citizen Kane. Bro. Wooden sled. Lost it in the fire. The thing he cared about, the only thing in his life that anywhere paralleled the sensation of love was not for a human being, but for a hunk of wood that was a sled that he rode in the snow. That made him feel good. Like that's how much of a demonic, power mad person this was allegedly. Like, wow. He didn't say Marianne. He didn't say Georgia. He didn't say, whatever. Colleen, Colette, Nanja, whatever. He didn't say Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, Betty Joe either. I mean, he didn't say those three girls there. Ooh, no. Mama Joe. I'm such a sick individual. And Uncle Joe. Uncle Goat. That really was. See me in my overall. Let me tell you something. I love when they pull down on the middle pocket of the coveralls. Like they're straightening a suit out. Like, man, that's made of 75-year-old denim. All you're doing is flicking dust and cow shit in the air. And keep that to yourself. I'll tell you what, Uncle Joe, Uncle Goat, story time with Uncle Goat, the Dark Years. This is when it gets fun at the hour mark. This is when you start to owe me money. This is considered employment. I get paid by the hour. We got 3 minutes. The hour is going to be here, bro. What about now? I'll get your sister to go and give me some Monet for my money and some money for my Monet. Impressions. Impressions of the sunset. This isn't a sunset. It is stellar in nature, solar by association. Black holes, which start out as, suns, and these are destroyed, son. Hell, it'll take me a minute and a half to get this back on the wall. So PayPal me, goat 6047 CNN, all one thing there. PayPal me / or stroke if you are, or it's probably this way, stroke if you are British. If you're Scottish, you can probably figure it out. It'll be good. I did. I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish on the hills of Tennessee. None of our family is in any way associated with the Kentucky Ku Klux Klan. What about the Tennessee Klan? We are no way associated with the Kentucky Ku Klux Klan. I can't even say it straight, but yeah, sometimes I break out of character. So, hey, pay me. Spend $1. Give me a tip. You don't have to pay me. Buy me a beer. If you see me, if you know me, whatever. Hey, we're all in this together. Let's help each other out. Hopefully, you've had some humor and wisdom and maybe some quotable quotes. What's funny is some people don't believe when I'm telling the truth, but they do believe me when I'm making up a story. Like I walked into a room and I'd been alone in the house over the weekend, and this new vinyl recliner, well, new to us, we bought it used, but new to us, vinyl recliner. I said, I don't think you want to sit in that yet, there, Bill. You might want that dry out for another day. He's like, what did you do? What did you do? And his look on his face, like, Is it like, I'm like, blood sugar sex magic, baby. Like, oh, shut up. I don't want to know. Oh. PayPal me, GOAT6047 CNN. That's GOAT CNN. One spelled with regular words and one spelled with regular numbers, and then my initials CNN. Christopher Nolan Neely. Thank you for watching. We're going to have a good day. And tomorrow's looking pretty fair as well. Y'all take care of one another and we can get this done. Sit down and have cold beer with chocolate. Chocolate. Is that